seem to adapt. And somebody told me that you felt the same way since we went. Why won't you give me a call? We'll ride on those waves again. California sun. And I can wait through a storm, 'cause without you it wouldn't be the same. Last night I was dreaming out loud. California sun was making my eyes dry. Can we still make it happen? It's worth a try. Oh, and I might keep on dreaming out loud. It's a beautiful life, staying under blue skies. And next year in the winter, let's give it a try. I'll keep on dreaming out loud tonight. Yeah, I'll be dreaming out loud tonight. I'll keep on dreaming out loud tonight.
Listen to this. This is a text message that I got that I received from a student that I had been working with since 2018. Really a friend, an incredible real estate investor out of Florida. Long time no speak. Biggest deal to date went into escrow today. We cold called a realtor on a 4-unit in Belglade, Florida. There it is. It's popping up now. And after 60 days of negotiations, we locked up a $18 million portfolio of 289 units with $6 million. Let me say this again. $6 million in equity the day we close. I hope you and the family are great. TTP all the way. I am telling you how incredible. We're going to start this show off right. We're going to start the show off with a lot of energy. We're going to start the show off with a little bit of victory bell for Brandy and that $6 million. $6 million. Come on. Are you kidding me? $6 million. Will you put that up one more time, Matt? I just think that we just need to hit this thing and really look at what it says here. We cold called a realtor on a 4-unit in Belglade. They cold called on a regular list, guys. This goes back to exactly where we left off last week on this show, talking about recognizing potential. All right? Even though you're talking to somebody that might own a single family or a 4-unit or, a townhouse or even a piece of land, what else do they own? Are you asking the extra question? Do you have any other properties that you would consider an offer on, even if it's a multifamily, even if it's an apartment complex, even if it is, something that just needs some love, something that you just, it's kind of in the back of your mind, it's been stressing you out for a while. What are those properties that you own that you just want to get rid of, and I can give you a cash offer today? That turns into negotiations over 60 days, and that turns into $6 million in equity. What he's going to do is he's going to go in there. He's probably going to renovate it a little bit. He's going to raise the rents. He's going to refinance that. He's going to be able to pull out a huge amount of money so that he can go and buy more properties. And by the way, when you do that, when you go and get a bank loan, pull out the money, that is tax-free money. That's a loan. That's not income. That's how people are building incredible wealth in the real estate business. You can do it. You will do it. I have no doubt about that you will be able to, that you will do this. It just takes getting the momentum going. It starts with doing your first deal. It starts from going off of faith faith that you can do this, faith that you truly know that you want to be a real estate entrepreneur, faith that if you work hard enough and you talk to enough people that you will be successful. And then you start leveling up. You start surrounding yourself with people that recognize more potential in the real estate business, and it is never ending. There are people that have expertise in every single aspect of real estate investing. It is incredible, but it all starts with the foundation of finding discounted properties. Finding discounted properties, that is where it all starts. All right, well, listen. Today we're going to be talking about a very hot topic, something that I've got that myself and my co-pilot here, Rafael Cortez, have been getting a lot of questions about, and that is getting a real estate license, right? Do I need to get a real estate license? What states require a real estate license? What's happening with all that? What does it even mean to get a real estate license? What does it cost? What do I have to do to be able to get it? What are the benefits? And we've got our map here, but it's not connecting to our server here, so we'll get that all so that we've got a really nice visual. But this is something that I want you to consider. Before we go into which of the states, because I'm going to do this in a different order just because of technology issues, but what I want you to consider is this, right? Let's go back. Aaron, can you put me on the whiteboard while Matt's working on this? Let's go right here, right? 200 contacts. This is the national equation here. 200 contacts equals one deal. And that's with you making those contacts. That's with you actually reaching out to the property owner. 200 gets you one deal. All right, so what are the other numbers in the mix there? Because this is really, really, really important, because I'm going to take a different take on the advantages and disadvantages of getting a real estate license, okay? I'm going to look at this totally different, because I think that there's a lot of kind of inflated information, and I think that we're going to cut through all of that and give you the real deal here. But first of all, 200 contacts equals one deal, okay? 10% of those contacts, 20 people that you talk to out of these 200 people are going to be a lead. They're going to want to sell, right? But not really. They're going to say that they want to sell, or they're going to hit you with something like, how much will you give me? I would sell at the right price. So 20%, 10%, 20 of these are going to be leads, but only about, you can get rid of 10 of those because they're really looky-loos. And what I mean by looky-loos is, if I get the right price, what will you give? How much will you offer me? They're really just kind of getting an idea. They're really taking the temperature of the real estate market to see, okay, if somebody's going to give me a cash as is offer, how much can I actually get for my property? I see what it's worth online. I've talked to my real estate agent buddies, and they've kind of given me an idea. But what will a real buyer, somebody out there, going to give me? And then they're like, well, that's not what I need. I'm going to hold off. I really don't have any plans. So really, 10% off the bat are going to kind of be looky-loos. That means you've got 9 people in there. Typically, there's going to be a mix in here. These are going to be people that either do business with somebody else in the marketplace, or they want retail. Okay? So if they want retail for these properties, how do you make money on this if you don't have a real estate license? We touched on it last week. You can just start, referring these to real estate agents and have them pay for your marketing expense, right? They pay for your dialer, they pay for your skip tracing, they pay for your list, your prop stream, your deal machine, your batch leads. They pay for all that. But you can make so much more money if you get a real estate license. And let me explain the numbers here. Is this thing working yet, Matt? Is the iPad working?
Yep.
Okay, good. Let me do the math here for everybody so that it makes sense. Let me show you the advantages of getting a real estate license. Number one, okay? Number one is you get access to the MLS. This is the benefit of getting a real estate license. You get access to the MLS. When you get access to the MLS, especially, listen to me, especially in non-disclosure states that don't publish what properties sell for, you can get a really good idea of the value of properties in the neighborhoods because you get access to all the active and pending listings, right? You get access to see what is actually happening in real time in my marketplace that you won't necessarily get with some of the other websites. Okay, this is going to give you really, really, really the most accurate information that you can for comping properties. Every time that we comp a property here in Phoenix in our market, we comp it through the MLS. Now, when I comp throughout the country, it's either with batch leads or with PropStream, but the MLS has the absolute best data. No doubt about it. And to get access to the MLS, you need to have a license, okay? Number 2 for this is you're in the club. You're in the club. It is a lot easier for you to have a conversation with a real estate agent if you're trying to get a deal, if you're trying to add to your cash buyer database. If you say, hi, it's Brent Daniels with Stunning Homes Realty, right? You're part of the club. People are like, okay, this is an agent. This isn't somebody just off the street. That means that they've taken the extra step to get educated, gone through, taken the test. It just means you're part of the realtor club. And people really like that. Realtors really like that, and it makes it a lot easier to have the conversation. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. It's not necessary. You can spin this any way you want, right? But it does help. It does make it a little bit easier to have conversations with other realtors. And number 3, the main reason is you get referral checks. And let me explain referral checks there, okay? You get referral checks. These are the advantages of getting a real estate license, okay? MLS, you're in the club, and you get referral checks. So let's look at that from a financial perspective, because I'm going to show you there's not a lot of places that require a license, guys. I know it might seem like it's a hot thing, but I'll show you on the map where they actually require a license, and it's not as much as you think. But imagine this. We're going back to our board here where 9 people want retail. Well, what if one of those people wants one person you can refer to an agent and get, and by the way, put in here, 35% referral fee. That's what I would suggest that you push to. You might only get 25% off the first ones and then up it to 30 to 35. If you get frequency, if there's frequency of referrals, you get more. Well, okay, great. Well, what does that mean from a financial standpoint? Well, let's look at this. The average sale in the United States in quarter 4 of 2021, because we're not through the first quarter here, it was 408,000. At 2% average commission that a realtor earns, that is $8,160. You times that by 0.35, that means that you're getting $2,856 every time that you refer a deal over to a retail agent. Now, this isn't you taking these listings. I don't want you getting distracted. I don't want you to be a realtor. You certainly can be, but I don't want you to be, because I want you to be focused on ugly houses and big checks. I don't want you to get $2,856. I want you to get $28,560. But does $2,856 pay your car payment? Does it pay marketing? Does it pay all your marketing? Does it pay your mortgage? For free. These are dead leads to you. These are dead leads. You're not going to do anything with these leads from an investment standpoint. These are people that want retail and should get retail. It's the right move for them. But you refer them over to a killer real estate agent that does a fantastic job of getting these closed, and you get passive checks of $2,856. You ever heard of multiple streams of income? It's everywhere. Every wealth book that you read, every self-development, all of these things, when it talks about building a strong financial future, they talk about multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income. This can be a multiple stream. So let's just say that you talk to only 200 people a month, right? You're only doing one of those a month. So you're getting 56 a month. That's an extra $34,000 a year that you get for getting your real estate license. So then let's take this one step further. Let's take it one step further here, and let's ask the question, well, what does it take to get a real estate license? Well, I just go here, I just Google nationwide online real estate license. Okay? Well, that's $129 if you see that. I don't know if people can see that there. $129 for this one. You've got $149 for these ones. You've got $100 for these trainings. These are nationwide. You can do these on your computer. You know the issue? You know why people don't want to get a license, Raphael? It's not because you have to then go and get hooked in with a brokerage, and the Arizona Department of Real Estate or the Department of Real Estate in the in your state can monitor you more closely. It's because they don't want to take a test. Because we're entrepreneurs.
It sounds complicated.
We're entrepreneurs. I don't want somebody judging me. I'm not in school anymore. You're going to say I pass and fail based on this course that I take and a test that I take. But is that financially limiting you? Can you have somebody on your team that does it? You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about an extra $35,000 pretty passively a year for just, and it'll cost you about $1,000 to get a license. That's bananas. It's absolutely bananas. So it costs $1,000. We can get $34,000 in perpetuity for as long as we want to do it. As long as we have our license, we can get these referral fees. Plus, it makes it easier to have conversations with real estate agents who are all day building their expertise to understand, recognize potential in certain opportunities. And you get access to the MLS. So listen, let's be honest. Let's go back to this real quick. And I think that this is really important. Let me get this guy. Let me get this guy. Hold on. Can you guys get me back to that
That's
map?
a lot of technology right there, Brent.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Listen, this thing's broke. I don't know what's going on with this. So there we go. Okay, let's look at this honestly. Okay, let's take a look. What states require a license? Okay, well, if you Google it, you'll soon discover. We got it? Okay, there we go. We'll discover you will discover that Illinois, right here, requires a license. They've required it since 2019. All right? Oklahoma requires a license. Okay? Now, Nebraska, not quite yet. Nebraska is looking to implement the same licensing that Oklahoma has. Okay? And then you've got a little bit of Philadelphia that requires some, I don't know if that's where Philadelphia is, but Pennsylvania, you get it. Sorry for everybody that lives in Philly. But Philadelphia there, they require some fees and some disclosures and a little bit of code of ethics. Atlanta, Georgia, let's put it there. I'm sorry, Atlanta. I'm not a geography whiz. But they require a little bit. And then let's look at the states that are interested in getting some more, getting licensing. So we've got Kansas. Where are you, Kansas? Kansas, right here. Sorry, it's in between these two. That makes sense. It's kind of in between Nebraska and Oklahoma. All right, you've got Mississippi that's considering it, and you've got Texas. Considering. They are exploring regulation. Do most of us live in the other states? Yes. Is it something that I think that licensing is going to be more commonplace in the next 5 to 10 years? Yes. Is it something that I think is going to affect your business now? No, I really don't. I mean, unless you're in Kansas, Mississippi, Texas, where they still have a long way to go there, really, Illinois and Oklahoma require a license to be a wholesaler, okay? And Nebraska sometime soon. I don't know a lot of Oklahoma wholesalers and or Nebraska wholesalers, to be honest. I know a lot of Illinois, and the ones in Illinois that have a license are cleaning house. Have had the biggest profits that they've ever had because people are going into other markets, neighboring markets, because they don't want to go spend $1,000, spend 60 to 90 hours taking a course, taking 2 tests, getting a license, and then reaping the huge benefits of lack of competition. Right? Lack of other people going after these opportunities. I'm telling you guys, the investment into a license is way worth it. I'm just telling you, from a financial, I don't even want to use like scare tactics and be like, oh, licensing is coming your way and they're going to get you and this is what's going to happen. Until we can have more evidence. I watched an incredible YouTube channel that really helped out with this first start of the show. Biz Matthews does a great job. Just discovered him yesterday. Does a fantastic job really keeping track of this. I texted Jerry Norton, got the inside scoop of everything going on there. And really, Kansas, Mississippi, and Texas are exploring it. The rest of it, it's wide open. So you don't have to get your real estate license, but I'm up here telling you, you probably want to. For real. I've had it since 2004. It has only benefited my business. This whole breakdown that I showed you here, with how much you can make. I don't know what's going on. This is a nightmare for me. Anyway, the breakdown, we're going to make over 6 figures in our business just from sending referrals to incredible real estate agents. Just this year, from dead leads, from things that they do not want to create a financing opportunity. They do not want cash as is offered. They do, but they just want too much, right? I'm telling you, that is, it's a no-brainer to get a license. It's a no-brainer to get a license because it opens up your potential. It opens up your ability to recognize more potential in the marketplace. And that's my stance on it. I think that that's something that you should consider, and I think that it's something that you could take your time with and get it. But I think it's really, really smart business tactic to either have somebody on your team or yourself get a license. I am very curious to open this up to Raphael. You have a brokerage.
Yep.
You own a brokerage.
Yes, sir.
You have a license.
Yeah.
Would you ever think of not having a license?
No. From day one, when I started wholesaling, having a license has never been an issue. The idea out there is like, no, we're gonna get in trouble if we're not complying because it's a gray area and whatnot. As long as you disclose the name of the game here when it comes to having a license in wholesaling is disclosure, right? You're disclosing that you're a real estate agent. You have all the clauses in the contract that you need to have, and it really creates an opportunity. Why? Because you're already marketing for those properties, right? So if you pivot the conversation, you can take that in a slightly different direction. Be a resource. Like, you're a one-stop shop once you have something like this in your pocket.
That's it.
And I mean, I think I'm following a trend here, and I think the theme of the show is really it's resourcefulness, right? It's having those things available to us, creating multiple streams of income. You nailed it with the numbers, by the way. I mean, if you have on average a 10K commission, for example, when I give out referrals to my agents, I keep 30%, but I also make another 10% for the broker fee. So it's a 40%. It's $4,000 on a $10,000 deal that would not have been there. But yeah, absolutely, states already have the blueprint. Mm-hmm. So once the blueprint is out there, it's a matter of time between other states follow suit. And
I thought it was way more widespread. I really did. I thought it was way more widespread. I thought it was kind of creeping into more places, and maybe it is that hasn't been reported on. But 2 states out of 50, 3 almost, 6 maybe in the next 3 years.
It's not there. It's going to take a while.
I don't want it to be one of those situations where people are like, oh, I have to get a real estate license because I have to. Yeah. I want you to want to get a real estate license. Yeah. Because it's financially smart for you to get a real estate license, and it opens up more streams of income.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
That's what it is. I think if you will ask any major real estate company, the top 200 in our space, whether it be wholesaling, flipping, developing, whatever it is, they all have licenses. They all have licenses. So just upgrade the experience that you have, upgrade the knowledge that you have, and upgrade your ability to have more streams of income. Cool? Awesome. Welcome to the Brent Daniels Real Estate Investing Live Show. I'm telling you, this show right here, we go for 2 hours. Most of this is question and answer. Most of this is viewer participation. All right? I want to know your questions. I want to know what you're going through. I want to recognize the success that you've had. I want to ring the victory bell. So if you've closed a deal, if you've locked up a deal, if you're going on an appointment, whatever it is, share your wins, whether they be big or small. We want to hear about them. We want to recognize them. Okay? But this show does not happen without you, so make sure that you participate. If you are getting value so far out of the show, make sure that you hit that like button. It really helps us out with the computer algorithm with YouTube. It exposes us to way more people, which means that we get to bring in incredible, incredible people that want to be on the show because they want your attention, which is the most important asset. Attention, right? So hit that like button and let's rock and roll. All right? So let's open this thing up. Does anybody have questions about licensing? Does anybody have some successes? Does anybody have just any kind of real estate questions that we can start tackling? We are having some technical difficulties, I think. There we go. Oh, One Ton Patriots back again. Got 3 contracts. That was an old comment. Okay. Project Rex version 1. This is Rex, and after this broadcast is my first set apart time for cold calling. Set appointment for cold calling. Pray for me. I'm excited and ready to serve. Awesome. You've got this. It looks like you're in San Antonio, Texas. Fantastic. Rex, congratulations. Get on the phone. Start serving the community. Remember, 6 to 10% of the real estate community is in distress at all times. Go find them. Go talk to them. Have a good conversation. Have a quality conversation. William says, hey, Brent, my landlord expressed to me she is thinking about selling the condo I rent from her. She gave me a ballpark price. I ran comps and the after repaired value. I can make $20,000. Should I shoot for the deal? Well, William, I assume if you can make $20,000, you're probably going to have to move. Is it worth $20,000 for you to move? It would be for me. I'll tell you that. Maybe not now, but if I was renting a condo and I could make $20,000 and make it really smooth, and I'm working with somebody that I know and really go through the process and experience what it's like to go out there and sell these deals and go through the escrow process and get it closed and get a check for $20,000 or a wire straight into my account, you know it, brother. You know I'm doing that deal.
Would that be a version of wholesale hacking?
Yeah.
Instead of house hacking?
Yes.
Yeah. Right? You're the tenant wholesaling your own property?
That's it.
I think I just invented something.
That's it. Wholesale hacking. I love it. There you go.
Good stuff, Will.
Jose, Brent, have you heard of potential regulations coming in California for flippers? Yeah, I did hear that. That's actually something that Jerry Norton texted me that they're proposing. And I'll read it because he says, because he just put that his thing at 25% tax on profits if you buy and sell within 3 years. Yeah, California's getting bananas. I highly, highly, highly doubt that that'll pass, Jose. There are so many people that prop up the government that are in real estate that is. I think that's going to be a real steep mountain for them to climb to get that passed. I really do. But who knows? I mean, you live in a state that's powerful. And because it's powerful, a lot of different, it's really different living in California than most other states. So who knows? It could get through, it could not. But I would highly doubt that it gets through. So either way, there's going to be some sort of strategy behind it or some sort of way to work it. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about it right now, Jose. Sydney, How do I get my real estate license? I've looked at programs online, but I don't know where to find something legit. Yeah, Sydney, I really like the Kaplan one. Kaplan one's a good one. There's always local schools. I went to the Scottsdale School of Real Estate and Business, and they're phenomenal. I mean, really, really, really great. If you want to do it online, then just find either a local one or I would post to a real estate agent Facebook group and just say, what's the best online licensing course to take, and see who gives you referrals. But I think they're all going to be legit. They all have to go through standards to be able to to have the ability to provide licensing education in that state. So they have to fit a certain guideline with the way that basically all the school does is prepare you to pass the test. That's it. I'm telling you, that's it. They don't tell you how to build your business. They don't tell you how to market. They don't tell you how to lead generate. They don't tell you how to convert these opportunities. They don't tell you any of that stuff. It's all education, which drives me crazy. I much prefer, and I think most of the audience prefers instruction. But you go through it, you get it done, and then you pass the test and forget it all instantly.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Except for the size of an acre, 43,560.
Yeah, that one you might use every now and then. But yeah, they just teach you how to pass the test. So anybody who's looking at taking the test, have that, as an expectation, right? They're not going to show you how to build a business. You don't have to get too concerned about growing another business is what I'm trying to get to. It's pretty much they walk you through the process and, do a lot of word or playing words to prep you for the test.
That's it.
And that's it.
It's really learning the vocabulary.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. And you know what? When you know the vocabulary, it makes it easier to talk to real estate agents. That's you're part of the club. The tracks are greased. You know what I mean? The conversation flows a lot easier because you are using the same verbiage that real estate investors and or agents or people that are just real estate entrepreneurs use. And that really helps out. That really helps out to kind of get people to understand and give you credibility. It does. I mean, it's just human nature. Can you give an example as well in the context of working with realtors in a intermediary angle? Intermediary, I don't know. I don't know what you're getting at there. I really don't. But Brent Daniels is pretty hilarious. At Brent Daniels. Listen, with a real estate agent, okay, there's a couple different things. Number one is they're phenomenal on your cash buyer list, okay? Real estate agents, for the most part, are the gatekeepers to the really big investors. So this is what happens, okay? You go out there, you make a bunch of money, you want to be, let's say that you're a doctor or attorney or an NBA player or you are CEO of a major company, and you go and they're about to do your taxes and they go, listen, Susan, you are making a lot of money. You're going to be in the highest tax bracket, and to bring this down, you need to buy some real estate. You need to get some depreciation. One, it's going to hedge against inflation because it appreciates. And two, you get to depreciate the building because over time you got to put work into it. The government's going to give you some value in that. They're going to give you some benefit for you owning real estate because they don't want to do it. They don't want to manage real estate. They don't want to keep up real estate. They want people out there in the marketplace to own it. This is a capitalistic society. So they want people to go out there and be entrepreneurs, and they're going to benefit you for being an entrepreneur and for owning real estate. Okay? And that's essentially what these high pay. So you have these doctors, attorneys, CEOs, high net worth individuals. They're doing their job. They're self-employed. They're in their mix. They're doing their thing. Or they're on a golf course. Or they're just taking time, right? They're just chilling. They don't want to go and learn the ins and outs of everything in real estate. They're just like, who do I go to? Oh, I'm going to go to this real estate agent. Hey, go find me some deals. That's what most people do. Most real estate investors go to a real estate agent. So when you are licensed and you're having a conversation with a real estate agent, it makes that conversation easier. And then all of a sudden, you're getting access to selling all your deals to this person. Now, do you need a license? Absolutely not. You don't. It just gives you a little bit more credibility in the beginning. It's not huge, but the big benefit of getting a license is getting referral fees for all the other deals that you can't close, because if you remember from last week, if you'll put this iPad on, right, we have this matrix, and I think this is powerful. Just get right. You've got low cost here. You've got somebody that wants the price is low versus price high over here. You've got really ugly houses, and you've got really renovated great houses. Well, what happens when you're having a conversation with somebody that fits right here? It's a great house, and they want a lot of money for it. Creative financing, sub 2, referral. Let's be honest. Most people, when they're ready to sell their property, they want to take the advantage of the cash that they receive from that property to either buy a new home, put into another investment, 1031. Now, some don't. Some are in a position where they just want to have payments on it, and that's great. And you should look at those opportunities. But for the most part, let's live in real life. In the most part, they want to put it on the MLS and sell it and get the most. They're retail sellers. So right here, this is where you get the referral fee. Referral fee if you have a license. And that's how you get paid on every single lead. Listen, you can receive income from every single lead that you get. And when I mean a lead, go back to last week, a lead is somebody that has a timeline. They're going to sell. They want to sell their property, and they've made the decision, and they have a timeline. That's why timeline is so critical when we're pre-qualifying our leads, right? So critical. You know, Bob, typically I can get you your money in 14 to 30 days from today. Does that work for you? No, I need 90 days. Okay, great. Now you've got the timeline. In 90 days, is there anything that would prevent you from selling this property? No, I need to sell it in the next 90 days. Fantastic. Right? Then you have a lead. How do you make money on that lead if it's a beautiful, pristine property and they want full retail value? You either list it yourself because you have a license, which I would prefer you refer it over.
Yeah, another thing on the referral stuff, I made a bunch of referral fees from out-of-state deals, stuff in Cali. So you're not only breaking. I mean, you can get a referral fee from somebody in Florida if you're in Arizona, in Cali. So it's another way to tapping into. If you're getting, how many times have you spoken to somebody that has a property out of state, so they're not in your area? You don't know the area, you don't know the market. They want retail for it. All you do is get that lead. You reach out, Google up, a good agent in that area with some, good, reviews and whatnot. Do some background, and then do a referral fee for 25, 30% of that.
That's it.
And get paid. Yeah. So out of town plays into it. I mean, you're tapping into the whole country, even if your license is in, Arizona or whatever state.
You get advantage of the whole country.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huge
benefit. Huge benefit. So couldn't I essentially just take the test and get my license? No, you have to go through the actual schooling. Yeah, they require you to go through the education. I wish. That'd be awesome, Sydney. But they require you to actually physically go through a certain amount of hours. It's hours plus tests get you the license.
90 in Arizona.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably some sort of background check or something that
there's
they
a
do.
background check, 90 hours, and then you got to do contracts and a couple other things in person.
Yeah.
Or not in person, I'm sorry, but the hours have to be in there.
I'll tell you what, I'm getting proficient at this iPad, I think, Matt. Listen, it's not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad.
You're natural, Brent.
Stephanie, hey, Brent. What are the expected fees when you hang your real estate license with an agency? What are the responsibilities do I have to an agency? Well, I think that this is better to Rafael. Rafael actually owns a brokerage. So what is the typical cost for somebody to join your brokerage?
Well, to join the brokerage, I mean, it depends on the brokerage. Normally, they're going to have different tiers for commissions and whatnot. You have, some brokers that do 30 percent. They keep 30% of the commission, then give out 70.
Right.
Some do 90-10, whatnot. So that's one thing, right? But as far as hanging your license, you're gonna look at the fees that you have on the boards. On the real estate boards. So, for example, here in Phoenix, we have a couple of different boards, and they have different price points from 500 to 600. So you have that on a yearly base. Yuma, we also have offices in Yuma. Those are cheaper. Those are, I think, $150 a year. And so the price points vary, right? But you have that, and then you're gonna have maybe some fees to get your actual lockbox and key. I think all in you're looking about maybe $1,000, $1,200,
Perfect,
somewhere in there to actually be in business and start being able to get hang your license, getting referrals off of that.
Love it. There you go. And what responsibilities that you have to the brokerage? You're going to have to talk to each brokerage. Each of them are different, and each of them look at wholesale transactions different. But when it comes to referrals, the referral fee will go and get paid to the broker, and then you get paid from the brokerage. All right. April asks, do you have to join a brokerage firm to get access to the MLS, or can you just get licensed and stay as an investor? You have to hang your license. You have to hang, right?
Yeah, you got to hang your license.
You got to
and
hang your
sign
license.
Sign up for a board.
Because what happens is you sign up for one of the board of associations in your area, April. So God, I love these questions. These are really important questions because I think that it's very confusing. It was very confusing for me, guys. When I got my license, I got it in, I started in 2003 because I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, thought that you had to get a real estate license to be an investor. Because Rich Dad Poor Dad is like concept, but it's not instruction. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, let's break your brain, but I'm not going to show you how to find deals, right? That's kind of the disappointing part of that, but I totally understand it. And so got my license, and I was very confused. What do you do? Do you need to how do you pick the right brokerage? Now I have to go and join an association? Is this like a union? Am I joining a union? Well, essentially, and to get that's how you get access to the MLS. The National Association of Realtors control the MLS. And so you need to, one, join an association, two, join a brokerage, and then you get access to the MLS.
One important thing to look at when you're picking and choosing brokers is having a conversation with them and find out if you're able to do wholesaling. Right. That's going to be a broker thing, not necessarily a state thing. Most brokers will have limitations when it comes to wholesaling. They want everything that's real estate related to go through the brokerage. One, because they make fees off of it. Two, keeps their liability, to a degree. But if you're not doing any representation, you can absolutely wholesale outside of that. But your brokerage has to be okay with that.
That's right.
Most of my agents, for example, do wholesale deals, and they don't run them through the brokerage. They run them through. So that's possible. Yeah.
Awesome. New Star Now. Can you get referral fees without a license? No.
Nope.
It is illegal. They'll shut you down. They'll shut you down, and then they'll fine you. They'll shut you down, and it turns into a real nightmare. Now, what most people do that don't have a license is they refer business to an agent, and that agent pays them marketing fees. But you have to be very careful, and Jamil mentioned this on Wholesale Hotline, that it's not per deal, that you're getting paid. It's this whole thing. Now, do people go through and is there like huge investigative teams looking for this? No. But why build a business based on something that may or may not, that in the back of your head, you're like, I hope, nobody knows that I'm getting paid for referrals and I don't have a license. You know what I mean? Like, that's not long-term business strategy. That's you just trying to tiptoe a weird line and stay in a non-compliant place, and it just builds a weird culture in your business. Don't do that. Seriously. It's gross. Don't do it. Just, if you're going to get paid on these deals, you got to get a license if it's per deal. If you want to make an arrangement with you could have a conversation with the realtor that says, listen, I want to pull a list. I don't have a budget, but I have a lot. I have passion. I have time. I have enthusiasm. I'm watching. I'm learning. I know what to say. I know who to go after. I just don't have the budget right? Can you pay for my dialer and my prop stream and batch leads and deal machine, and I'll be able to get all these lists of leads, and I'll be able to call them all, and every deal that I find, I can let you know about, of course, but also anybody that wants retail value, I'll refer them to you, and you keep all the commission, and you just work with them and build your business. I want to do this with you, right? Let's do this as like a informal partnership type of thing. You could do that. You could do that right now, for real. If you have somebody that has a license, that has a little bit of budget, that's doing some cool things, they're building that momentum, and they want to add to their business, I'm telling you, it is a win, 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 win across the board. And then if you really want to get paid, get a license. $1,000 costs you $1,000, 60 to 90 hours, and 2 tests. Telling you, it's a no-brainer. At some point, you got to upgrade.
It's here's the thing too. If you're not able to get a license, they'll do a background checks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I get it.
if somebody's not able to get a license, they can always bring somebody into the company, because I've had clients do that, where they have somebody in the like they bring in a lead manager and they happen to have a license, right? Now
100%.
they're processing that through the company, through their license,
Yep.
their referral fees and whatnot. But now they're in compliance with the departments of real estate.
That's right.
So yeah, so if it's not you're unable to get a license for whatever reason, I would recommend you get it if you can. If you can't, you can always bring somebody into your LLC and then just do it that way.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many different ways,
Yeah.
but if you're going to be a real business, somebody in your business has to have a license.
Right.
Doesn't have to. Let me rephrase that. Should.
But it's a really good idea.
It's a really good idea. It really is. Would partnering with an agent be a viable alternative to get a license? Absolutely, JF. Absolutely. 100%. You just have to make sure that all the referrals are going through that person on your team that has a license. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Listen, I know that there's a bunch of incredible big thinkers out there that are like, you know what? I don't want to get a license because I'm going to be out of working in the business in like 2 or 3 years, right? And so I'm going to hire somebody that already has a license and put them in a role in my business. Great. Do it. But get somebody that has a license and has access to the MLS. It's a huge advantage. Maxwell, when you have a license and are under a broker, do they get a percentage of your wholesale deals? Thanks. Bent. Oh, we're getting it today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting. We got jokes. Okay.
Yeah.
Maxwell, thank you. That's hilarious. I love it. It depends. It depends on the brokerage. It depends on what they require. I have my license hung with Steve Trang, and there's no fiduciary duty with the contracts that we are putting together. Once we're in and out, it's done. When we close on them, they do take a transaction fee because that's important. You know, when you're buying them yourself, there's a transaction fee. I think his is $250 to $400. I don't remember what it is. But if it's wholesale, typically not. I don't understand why they would. I don't understand the exposure to the brokerage. I don't understand, what they're doing from a processing process position. Process position. I don't know. You get it. You know what I mean? They're not doing anything with the file to earn some sort of or increase the value of this deal. So yeah, most of them don't. But when you close on them, or when you do like a wholesale, or when you do like a flip, or you're buying it to add to your portfolio, typically you're going to have to pay a transaction fee, and it's usually not too bad. The biggest suggestion I have is find the brokerages in your area that are wholesale friendly. And we're really working hard. I know Chris Craddock, who is a Wholesaling Inc. coach, is really pushing hard with EXP Realty. To open their mind and eyes to wholesaling, the wholesale transactions, which could be huge because they're a huge national brokerage. So, but what I find, Maxwell, is typically it's going to be small boutique brokerages like Raphael's or Steve Trang's, and people that are investors first, and then they open up their brokerage and bring incredible talent onto it. So. Yeah.
The key thing is going to be representation. So if you have representation, there's a fiduciary duty.
Right.
If that's not in play, I mean, depending on the brokerage again, you can go outside of that and then do your thing. But if there's some type of representation somewhere in the middle, even if it's like you, for example, listing your own property that you came in and flipped,
Yep.
like there's a fee. There's going to be something that happens there.
Awesome. What's the difference between a realtor or an agent? Great question, Jason. Realtor is a organization. Realtor is the union. Okay, Realtor is National Association of Realtors. You can be an agent, you can get your license and not join an association. You just don't get access to the MLS. So what's the point, right? So that's the difference. Real estate agent, when you get your license, you're an agent. When you join a realtor board, then you become a realtor. And remember, guys, listen, it's realtor, not realtor. Try realtor. I would say 90% of realtors say realtor. Right? That's not a word.
I don't know what that means.
Realtor. Yeah.
Have you seen that meme where Batman's getting slapped?
Yeah.
Across
Yeah, Batman's slapping
Every time
Robin.
I hear realtor, that's what I see.
By the way, just to keep it fun and light in here, will you put up that Tom Brady meme? I love this. I'm sure everybody's seen this on your social media, but I think this is hilarious. Buyer, I'll just wait until the market crashes. The market, right? I mean, absolutely the truth. And I'm telling you that, like, people are like, what's the right time to buy real estate? What's the time to get into investing? I don't want to buy it right now. It's too high. It's the same answer you get about planting a tree, right? When's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. It's right now. Like, whenever. Just buy right. You make money when you buy, all right? So make sure, if you really want to build your wealth, you got to buy assets. You can't spend money on depreciating items and or on liabilities. You buy assets so that you can increase your wealth every year. The people that are buying assets aren't worried about gas prices. The people that are buying assets aren't worried about the 7% inflation. Because they've already hedged against it. They already know that they're buying these assets that already have a hedge against these things. Okay? So I think it's the absolute truth. When's the best time? You're the buyer. I mean, I want to buy when the market shifts. Listen, 2008 was a nightmare. 2008 was also set up by giving a lot of people loans that have no qualification. That's not around anymore. That's done. That phase of the real estate market is done. I don't see it coming back where they just give loans for when you just state how much you make and you state where you work. And if you have a high enough credit score, they give you up to $1.5 million loan as many times as you want. It's ridiculous. It was wild. And that's what caused the crash. So if you're waiting for this big, fundamental, huge crash, you're going to miss out on a ton of profits. You're going to miss out a ton of wealth building. You really are. So go with confidence. All right? Awesome. Oh, Patrick, here we go. Got $24K assignment fee on a on-market deal.
What?
Closing on the 1st of April. There we go. Come on.
Nice. There's that bell.
Yes. That is incredible. 24,000 assignment fee. Patrick, I would love to find out how that worked. Obviously it was on an on-market deal. Was it something that you got right away, right as soon as it hit the market, or did you let it seize and gain some rust and then really negotiate the price with the agent and with that property owner? Let us know. That'd be really good insight. And obviously, guys, if you're interested in learning how to get more deals directly off of the MLS or working with real estate agents, definitely join us every Thursday, 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on this channel. Make sure that you join us because Ryan Zolan, my co-host on the Millionaire Before 30 show, that's his bread and butter. And he'll make multi-millions this year with on-market deals and from real estate agents. So it's absolutely bananas, really strong strategy. So join us tomorrow as well, 10 a.m. All right? Guys, if you're getting value, again, hit that like button. Hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. It really helps us get some amazing exposure. And obviously, if you're not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. We come out with content every single day to make this process way faster for you. So you can cut through all of the smoke and mirrors, cut through all of the mystery of this business, and get the instruction that you need. The actual action steps to take every single day to be successful. At first, starting to get your first deals, and then replacing your income, getting to a position where you can do this business full time, and then really growing your company. That's what this channel is all about. And then obviously buying assets. So there you go. Sean, great to see you. As a agent, should we still use the same softwares that we use, wholesaling, batch leads, prop stream, batch style, etc.? I've heard about Red X, but I'm wondering how that compares to batch. Yeah, you know, Red X is phenomenal, but they're just going to give you the canceled, expired, and for sale by owner listings. For the real nitty gritty ones, Sean, and this is a great question, batch leads and prop stream. Batch leads, prop stream, and deal machine, right? We're going to put all the coupon codes here because you get coupons on every single one of them just for watching the channel, but and using the coupon code TTP. But batch leads, prop stream, they go and do a lot of the legwork for the distressed properties. You know, realtors aren't necessarily trained to go after distressed properties. They're trained to go after people that are already showing signs that they want to sell by expired listings, canceled listing, for sale by owners. That's the bread and butter of being proactive as a real estate agent, is reaching out to those people and trying to see if you can get an appointment to list that property. All right. So with those other services, with those other services, it cuts the market down into that 6 to 10% of people that are in distress. And remember, go back to this right here, Matt. This is where we live right here. This is the big monies. These are the big, massive assignment fee deals. These are the big boys here. When you get a low price and they're ugly houses, right?
Oh yeah.
That's the bread and
Ugly
butter.
houses, big checks.
This is what I talk about when we say ugly houses, big checks, is we live in this space. But not everybody's going to fit into this box, and you can make money on every single lead if you understand how to recognize potential. And that's what I intend to do with this channel, is help you recognize potential by bringing on people with incredible expertise at different parts of the business, different strategies in this business, I should say. But if you focus here in this world, live in this world right here, I'm telling you, this is where you start building a big, healthy, heavy bank account. All right? Boom.
Real quick, Brent, on the regarding, again, going back to the benefits of having the license. And tapping into the MLS. One thing that, for example, that we do, and you're talking about on-market properties, right? Yep. What you want to do is get notified as soon as possible. A lot of times, maybe, you know, your agent is going to put you on a list and whatnot, but it's not the same as if you have access to the filters.
Yes.
So we have filters lined up in certain areas where we know the price points, and anytime a new property pops up below the average price point on any given area, we'll get a notification right away. So it funnels it over. I mean, it's just another way of tapping into MLS properties, like that one where they got, what was it, a $24,000 assignment fee.
Yep.
And you get notified as soon as it kicks.
Awesome.
So yeah, you can do that, right? If you have access to the MLS and you're an agent. So.
That's right. That's right. Thanks. What's the best way to structure the relationship between you and the agent? Are you hiring them as W-2 employee in the company, or would they be a 1099 contractor? Well, first we're going to hit you with Matt and Aaron's favorite little bar here that says not a CPA, hashtag not a CPA, hashtag not a attorney. But JF, I will tell you this, I have just recently put everybody on a W-2. I have had 1099 since 2004. Okay? What you'll find is a CPA and wealth advisor will try to get you to W-2 to limit the tax liability that you have at some level, but for the most part, it's going to be 1099. It's been 1099 for me for a long time. Raph?
Yeah, 1099.
Yeah.
Most of my team is 1099.
Awesome. There you go. So probably 1099, JF. But talk to a CPA because we're not
Hashtag.
a CPA.
Or attorney.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. I am just a real poet.
I think we could put together a boy band.
We could put together something.
That was real good.
I'll tell you what, with your guitar and my
hashtag
lyrics,
not CPA,
I mean, this is
hashtag not
straight to
attorney
the
theme
pulling
song.
on the heartstrings. Nathan, how far does MLS access reach? Does it reach the entire state you're licensed in, or just a certain city? With ours, it's by county.
County.
For the most part. So it just depends, Nathan. Some of the smaller markets all kind of clump together, and for example, northern Arizona is a bunch of different cities, right? It's Flagstaff, it's Prescott, it's Sedona, it's some of these cities that make up the major ones. There's some more in there, but it just depends. It depends on how big of an area it is. So usually it's more population and density of real estate is what it's based off of. But it reaches pretty far in your market. Patrick, I secured 2 deals from the MLS in the last 4 weeks. They just require a higher earnest money, and terms are important to them. Talk to us a little bit about terms, Patrick, if you don't mind, if you're still on here live. I'd love to understand what terms, just to kind of clarify that, because I'm sure, just like me, some of the audience is like, what terms is he talking about? Is he talking about like creative finance? Probably not. Most of the time, they're talking about closing dates. They're talking about inspection terms. They're talking about different disclosures that they want you to sign in a certain timeline. So what's that?
Appraisal waivers are huge.
Appraisal waivers. Appraisal waivers, inspection waivers. Sometimes it just depends. Those are some of the terms that they're requiring. So just to give you an example for everybody out there, when we go out there on a traditional wholesale deal, we're going out there and we're like, okay, we've talked to the owner. Can we get this thing closed? Do they need 30 days to get out, or is it vacant? Is it something that we can move in half that time? And is our title and escrow or closing attorney able to close something in 10 to 14 days? Most are. The best are. And the best deals you want to close right away, right? But you go in, typically it's 30 days, and you have a 10-day to 14-day inspection period. Well, when you're going to an agent, and typically you can put in $100 earnest money. You can put $10 earnest money. But typically around the country, it's about $100 earnest money. And for anybody that doesn't understand what earnest money is just what's called consideration. A lot of times, a lot of states around the country require consideration to make a purchase agreement for real estate valid. Maybe even any agreement valid, even if it's $1 or something. But it just shows, hey, we're serious and we are going to commit this $100 to purchasing this property. Makes it valid. That's what's required. Okay? Earnest money is then held by the title company, and you've got 30 days to close it. Bring in the cash, bring in the money if you're going to close it yourself, or have your cash buyer do it. And in that 10-day inspection period, that's really where you're really getting crazy with you're really getting loud, I should say, with your marketing. The property is seasoned. Nice. So it was on the market. So this is a great follow-up, Patrick. Thank you. So the property was on the market. It was seasoned, which means it was on the market for a little bit. How I got 24K is because property is a commercial building, but the lot has recently rezoned for residential use only. The agent was trying to sell as commercial. That's fantastic. That is recognizing potential there.
Yeah.
That's understanding how to negotiate when something gets rezoned, right? And it's no longer the same value it used to. Commercial is typically more valuable than residential because there is fraction amount of the real estate available in your state is zoned for commercial versus residential. So because it's much smaller, it's much more valuable. More people want it. There's more demand for commercial buildings because there's less of it. But as it switched over to residential, which is interesting, it decreases the value. Or increases, depends on if it's a part of some sort of development. And he was able to make $24,000. That's incredible. Awesome. Just burn it into your head. Recognize potential. Recognize potential. Recognize potential. Find people that have different expertise in different strategies. And we're going to do a better job. We're going to do the best job on the internet of helping you recognize more potential on this show. I am telling you, it is a huge focus. It is the core focus that we're going to really be pushing that in recognition of your successes, of course. But recognizing potential in different properties is what sets people apart. That's the levels to this game. Somebody can look at a piece of land and think it's worth $100,000. Somebody can look at a piece of land and know that it's worth $10 million. That's recognizing potential.
Going back to that $6 million equity at the beginning, man. I mean, the theme stands, right? It's about resourcefulness.
Put that one up, Matt, for everybody that missed it in the beginning.
It's about being resourceful, not necessarily having all the resources in place.
That's right.
It's figuring out how you can make it work. Like, for example, if they were cold calling, I mean, looking at an $18 million portfolio may sound like something that's unattainable. However, they were very resourceful when it came down to putting the deal together. It took them a year, right? But that's the theme of really success when it comes to what we do, right? We're problem solvers.
I wouldn't mind trading a year for $6 million.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Probably more, to be honest.
Yeah.
By the time he gets it done and
Appreciation market, yeah.
gets that property, the value increase by increasing the rents there.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
value.
bananas.
Love it.
Brandy's been with me since 2018. You know, he's the one that sent those big 4 pillars posters, to our old office. That was awesome. Tasha, after I get my first deal, I'll look into the license. I'll wholesale during the process. Great information. Thanks. Thank you, Tasha. Great plan. Great plan. I mean, get going. Listen, that's really an important thing, and I'm really glad, Alejandro, that you picked this comment from Tasha, because it's the truth. Getting a license should not stop you from getting a list of distressed properties and calling them and seeing if they would consider an offer and doing deals. Unless you're in Illinois or let's pull up this map again. Hold on, Matt, if I can get there. Yeah, no. I don't know why this thing just messes with me. I don't know. There you go. Unless you're here, guys, unless you're in Oklahoma or Illinois, let's pull that up, Matt. Right here, Illinois, red, Oklahoma, red, you need a license. Nebraska's going to be taking it on. Kansas is probably caught in the middle here, is going to be as well. Texas is exploring, Mississippi exploring, and Kansas is exploring, but I could see that one probably going first. But unless you're in those, Atlanta has a weird commercial harassment regulations. Nobody can give me a straight answer on that. In Philadelphia, apparently you have to pay some fee to be a wholesaler. So, yeah. Anybody from those states, if you want to chime in, let me know. Trying to hold back a sneeze here. There we go. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Get it going. Get the momentum building. Build the momentum while you are able to so that you're getting your lead generation going, you're getting your pipeline of opportunities filled, and then bam, once these things start closing, either find somebody that you can partner with that has a license or get it yourself. Come on, Keystone. Here we go. Just closed an $11K deal yesterday. Thank you for all the valuable information, Brent. Thank you for letting everybody know here. Make sure that you guys are squatting up. Make sure that you're putting in the comments section where you're doing business so people can connect with each other so that you can expand your recognition of potential on everybody that wants to sell their property. 11,000. Here's for you, brother. Here we go. Awesome. Congratulations. 11K deal yesterday. Boom. Hola, after my $50,800 deal, we went to a nice dinner. Then I acted like I was broke. I put 3 months of cold calling and closed my first fix and flip, partnered with a good GC. With that money, any advice? Well, first of all, you're being really, really smart. You're being really smart. And this is something that we talked about. You close a big deal like this, great. Spoil yourself on something. Go to a really nice dinner. Buy yourself that whatever NFT you wanted, as long as it's not too much. Buy something. Buy a nice pen. Buy whatever, something nice for your significant other, right? And then just forget about it. Move on. Keep the money. Keep the money. Keep the money. Keep the money. Right? And so any advice on your first fix and flip is with any general contractor, you have to understand you get, well, here, I'll do this. This will make it easy, okay? With any kind of construction, anybody, you get there's the cost, okay? The cost. You get time. How much time will it take? And you get quality. Okay? You get to pick 2 of these, not 3. Okay? If you want it to cost, if you want it to be low cost and really good quality, it's going to take forever. It will. If you want it to be fast with really great quality, it's going to cost a bunch. I'm just telling you, that is reality. And I don't care if you're partnering with somebody that's a GC. If they are a GC, they've probably got other projects going on. If they're really good, they should be. So cost, time, quality. You get to pick 2. Okay? When I was starting out, I wanted the cost to be low, but quality to be high, and it took forever. And it gets real frustrating, and it's a huge nightmare. If you can, and it's not too crazy, I would highly suggest that you sacrifice the cost, pay a little bit more to get them done faster. I do. But you know what? If you want this to drag on because you're getting appreciation, great. But I just find it takes up a lot of mental space when you have projects going on for a long time. And if you ignore them, it falls apart. And if you overthink about them, your other business falls apart because you're not generating leads and you're not following up and you're not closing the amount of deals that you should be doing because your mind is focused on the flips that you're doing. So just make sure that you find a nice balance there, Luis. It takes time. Don't get frustrated. Just understand that it's a learning process and fail upwards. You know what I mean? Good. Nathan, how far does MLS... Oh, we had that.
Yeah. That was him.
Repeat, Nathan.
One job, Alejandro. One job.
Yeah.
They're traveling over the internet. Slow.
Yeah, so it travels from Alejandra to Matt, which is probably 5 feet. And, sometimes the internet just gets wacky.
It is hump day.
I'm new.
Okay.
How
there it is.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, Omar asks, I'm new. How does the MLS help us? Is it just with comping? Yeah. Omar? Yeah. I mean, it's if you're just new, it'll help you with comping. As you get more experience, you can start recognizing different potential on the MLS, like Raphael was talking about. He gets a notification anytime a property hits the market that's under the average market price in certain areas. You could set it up. You can engineer the MLS to send you automatically, as soon as they hit the market, properties that you think would give you a great shot, that have great potential. But again, that goes back to really stripping back the layers and understanding how to recognize different levels of potential or different strategies for potential. So in the beginning, just focus on ugly houses, big checks. On the MLS, just allow it to just be your really strong comping resource. And then you can build from there. But I don't want you, listen, don't implement everything off the bat. When you are just getting started, the number one focus is do your first deal as fast as possible. Because not only do you need to convince yourself that this is something that you can do that out of thin air, out of the ether, you're going to pull income in for your family for putting in effort on this thing right here, right? You got to prove that to yourself. That's the most important thing. But also, let's be real, you got to prove it to your family, to your friends, to your doubters, to all this other stuff that might be pulling at you a little bit, right? They might be sending a little bit of hooks on you, and they're kind of pulling you back a little bit, and they're kind of like, what are you doing? You can't do that. That's not real. You have to get a license. You have to do all these things. That's not real estate. You can't just go out there and talk to homeowners that own these hoarder houses and make money from that. Yes, you can. And you're going to shut them up. You're going to shut them up as soon as you tell them, yeah, I just did this deal right here. It's incredible. And actually, not only that, I made enough on that deal that I can go into this business full time, and I'm going full time into this. It's incredible. Wait, what are you doing? What? You can do that? That's incredible. I never even thought about that. Those are the same people. I'm telling you, the same people that were sending hooks into you earlier. They're like, oh, that's incredible. You're a genius, right? Yeah. There you go. Stay focused, Omar. If you're new, ugly houses, big checks. Joshua, as soon as I get my first deal, my second goal is to get big arms like Brent. Yeah, brother. Let's go. Joshua, that's it. Well, I'll tell you what. Getting a coach makes all the difference. Having a trainer, having a coach, I will invest in my health. I will invest in my business. I will invest in my self-development. It is the greatest return on investment of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once you can invest in your health
as well.
I'm just telling you, like it is true. Health is that thing that you don't think about until you get unhealthy, and it's the only thing you think about, right?
Yep.
If you're sick, that's the only thing you think about. Invest in your health, invest in your self-development, invest in your ability to recognize potential in real estate. And you're going to be incredible.
And throw in some curls. That's a good
Throw
second
in
goal.
some curls.
Throw some
Yeah,
curls,
throw in
yeah.
some curls. Throw in some curls. Julio, and eat 1 gram of protein per body weight. Boom. There you go. Where can I find local meetups? So meetup.com is a great way. They also have a ton of different ones, different groups on Bigger Pockets, and in Facebook groups. Just look at the Facebook groups. I would also, Julio, I would Google REIA, REIA, Real Estate Investing Association, and in your area, and that'll pull it up. Those are great meetups. Or Julio, how about this? Create one. Create one. You want to be like the authority? Create a meetup. There you go. With Trillionaire Diddy, this year is definitely my year, but most importantly, our year. Through TTP and creating networks and squatting up, that way we will maximize our success. That's a quantum leap advantage, Brent. That's right. Talking to people, creating a network, and squatting up. That is it. Listen, as you're starting out in this business, you're going to understand real quickly that the more people you talk to, the luckier you are. For real. The more people you talk to, the luckier you are. Not only because you having more quality conversations with distressed property owners, but also because you're talking to so many other people that have experience in this business that you understand what they're looking for, and when you find it, you know who to take it to. And it opens up the amount of people that you can take it to. When you start out, it's just ugly houses, big checks. I got an ugly house. I put it to somebody that wants to fix this thing up. I make some money, right? And then you start getting into all different strategies. People that want to build their portfolio. People that are looking for multifamily. People that are looking for development opportunities. People that only buy in certain areas, but they pay way more than anybody else. Working with hedge funds. Working with these iBuyers. All of these different strategies. It's so thrilling. It's so exciting. But it starts with building that momentum, and you're 100% right. Talking to people, creating a network, and squatting up.
You know, one thing that I started doing a couple of years ago was, last year. And I took this totally from Matt Andrews and the Family Mastermind.
Yeah.
I just started building my own little black book.
Yeah.
And that's what I call it. It's my black book. So I'll put a contact, somebody I meet, and then I have this section that is like their superpower. What's their superpower?
Yeah.
And I just start,
Love it.
taking a tally of that stuff. And your network builds up real quick. Next thing you know, you're a phone call away from most of the problems that you're going to be coming across.
100%.
Yeah. So
100%. I love that. Yep.
do that, Diddy.
Do it, Diddy. Steve, if you have a license, how do you set up the referral fee? What is the standard or formal paperwork process? Got me. They got me. I've been holding that back all day. Steve, your brokerage will have a standard referral agreement. They'll have one. So don't even worry about it. The whatever brokerage you join will have something. Typically, even the Association of Realtors in your area will have one. So when you become a realtor, you get access to all of the realtor paperwork and agreements, and in there is a referral fee. Really super easy, and boom, really clear language, and makes it super easy to get through and get it signed.
It's real easy to get paid on those too. It's not a complicated process at all. At all. It's a simple form. You fill that out, send it over to the other agents, brokerage to sign it, send it back at the settlement statement.
Yep.
Or at close of escrow. You get your fee, just like you would an assignment. It's just categorized as a fee out to you. So
right.
it's super easy to set it up too.
Awesome. Gabriel, hi Brent. Close $40,000 assignment on market deal. Gabriel.
Epic.
Gabriel. Come on. 40,000.
Let's go.
That is incredible, brother. $40,000 on market deal. Man, $40,000. Remember what it felt like to get a $40,000 check for the first time, the first couple times, few times?
It's a mind buster.
Ooh, man.
Are you telling me you're numb to it now?
Breaks your brain. Yeah, once I will always.
Have you ever
love
had a
getting
lot of ice cream?
$40,000. But I'll tell you what, when it's $140,000, it's like, yeah, that goes a long way. But 40,000 is incredible, absolutely incredible. Congratulations, Gabriel.
Boom.
Big arms. Huh? It's just taking time. I just have to song and dance until we get that.
There we go.
Hey! Matt Barry locked up an infill lot on Monday and about to JV the deal. Locking up deals.
Is it in
Getting
Phoenix?
it done. Matt Barry, here we go.
If it's in Phoenix, I want it.
Alamo Shower Doors Media asks, do you have to disclose more if you are an agent? Well, first of all, you have to disclose that you are an agent. Second of all, you need to talk to your brokerage and just understand what paperwork is required for wholesale deals. Now, if it's something that you're going to purchase and own, there's probably some more disclosures that you have to get signed. If it's something that you're going to be in and out and you're just locking up the deal and selling the agreement to another buyer, it's going to be typically less. But talk to the brokerage on it. I don't have any other. Oh, I have a 2-page contract, 3 really, but really 2 pages that have anything on it. And we give it to the seller. We get that back, and we sell that deal off on a typical wholesale transaction. And it doesn't. Our brokerage does not require anything more than that. So, you have to disclose that you have an active real estate license, but most property owners actually feel better about that.
Yeah.
The Novice Wanderer. Please help me, Brent. I need to know how to get a deal. I have $10K in marketing. Great. I want you to go out and get the 1,000 most ugly houses in your community. 1,000. You could do it. You could do it on your computer through the Deal Machine, through their website, or you can go out there and literally drive around. Right? And don't wait till you have 1,000. Get 100. Skip trace them. Call them. But get 1,000 of the ugliest properties in your community, and get their phone numbers. Batchskiptracing.com. Take that list of addresses and get batchskiptracing.com. Get their phone number, and call them and ask them if they would consider an offer. If you don't have, if you don't know what to say or how to pre-qualify them, TTPinsider.com. TTPinsider.com has all those tools and resources. We've got the script. It's all free, so you can download it right now and start using that so that you understand how to communicate with the property owners. But that's it. Get 1,000 ugly houses. Talk to 200 of them. Get a deal. Boom. There's the math. Just don't overcomplicate it. The reason that it's tough, I think, Raph, is because it's not gamified. It's not fun. I'm trying to bring that into the community to really like get people to squat up and connect or get on some sort of Google Meetup or a Zoom and make calls with other people around the country. And they're making calls, you're making calls, you're ringing a bell, or you're hitting a gong, or you've got a blowhorn, whatever it is when you get a lead. Just have fun with it. It doesn't have to be this whole doom and gloom, oh, I'm just making calls in a dark room all day. No, stand up, be alive, turn the lights on, have confidence, smile, right? Get energy before you start making these calls, and then you call up, you get 1,000 addresses, you call up, talk to 200 of them, and you get a deal. And you get big deals from those houses, because again, going back to it, it is let me see if I can pull this up again. No, I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I think you're right, man. It's it has the like the vibe of a telemarketing room, right? When you tell people cold call, dial, you need to talk to a lot of people. It's really kind of, giving you that sensation that you have to be in a cubicle and then just dialing out,
Right.
and then your ears are bleeding after 8 hours. Of
Yeah, you
contact,
think
but
it's like
not
Boiler
that.
Room, or you
Gamify it,
think
yeah.
it's like Wolf of Wall Street or something, where they're just
Yeah.
all, you know what I mean? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you start pounding your chest. But this is the world we live in right here. Ugly houses, and they don't want a ton. Ugly houses, they don't want to. They understand that they're trading in their house. Remember, the mentality of wholesaling is, if you've ever bought a new car or ever been to a dealership and you've turned in your car to that dealership for whatever, some sort of credit or whatever, you know that you're getting a fraction of what if you went in and you got it detailed and you put it on the market and you showed that to different buyers and you really pushed it to get Kelly Blue Book value for your car, you could do it, but you don't. Most people don't. Why? Speed and convenience. Same thing with real estate. Same thing. Tasha, new to wholesaling, I talked to a couple of prospects and I knocked on doors. Are we able to work the pre-foreclosures coming up to be auctioned off? Absolutely, Tasha. Those are some of the people that have the most distress, right? Remember, the property is, the condition is either in distress, there's financial distress, which is pre-foreclosure, or there's emotional distress. People inherit a property. People get a divorce. People, had a bad experience in a property, whatever else. They just want to get rid of it, and they don't want to think about it, and they want to trade potential equity for speed and convenience. But pre-foreclosures, that is a financial distress. They're not making their payments, and that's for a reason. So we really need to help these people out, because if they foreclose on it, that stays on their credit for 7 years. 7 years. It destroys their credit report. So then they have to go 7 years of crawling and scraping and scratching and being nervous and feeling really shitty that their credit is so bad. I understand this. I've foreclosed on 5 properties. I had the worst credit score you could possibly have. I had such a bad credit score at 30 years old. At 30, okay, for all you people that are under 30, at 30 years old, I couldn't even get a checking account. That's how bad my credit score was. Couldn't even. I had to send in money. I had to send in money to a online checking account that just kept it there just in case I overdrafted and they would use that money. For real. So there's a lot of distress there. They need that help. They don't want to deal with all of that, keeping it on your credit for 7 years. It's a long time and it feels terrible. Help people avoid that. For real. There you go. Get them, Tasha. And it's going through. I feel like there
direct
should be a
mail.
graphic where it's like, where it's like almost like paper and it's like floating. Yeah, exactly.
Loading.
Yeah, you see it floating through and it's kind of getting the comments over there. Apologize, guys. Sometimes with YouTube, the streaming is a little bit congested, or they're updating or whatever. Rajesh, hey Brent, do you need a rental permit from the city if you have a wholesale deal which you want to put up for rent to own. I don't know. I have never heard of that. I guess it would depend on the city. Honestly, that's an easy call down to either the Department of Real Estate or whoever is giving rental permits in the city. I guess it just depends on where you live. We don't have to get rental permits. You own a property, you rent it.
Yeah, I think you might be referring to lease options.
It could be a lease option,
yeah,
but I mean,
rent-to-own
that's
type of
essentially what a rent to own is.
Yeah.
But if you're in a city like one of the major cities, New York, Chicago, LA, or something, San Francisco, and you need to get a permit to have a rental,
Yeah.
then probably I would say yes. But I would like to dig my teeth into that and see what states you actually need a license, a permit to rent a property. That seems crazy. I mean, if the I can see homeowners associations stopping it. I can see deed restrictions stopping it in some retirement communities, but I can't. I don't know if it's a city or state thing. If we could pull that up, do you mind, Ref?
Yep.
We'll look into that. But if they require, yeah, because you're renting it to own it. Noah, how big should the prop stream list that we pull be? Well, here's the numbers. Okay, you typically want. You're going to typically want 50 addresses per hour is what you can call if you're using a 3-line dialer. Okay? So, and I only want you to go through the list 2 to 3 times. So, the size of your list depends on how many hours you're putting into your calls. So if you can call 50 addresses an hour, which is probably on a dialer between 120 and 150 dials an hour, and you go through that list twice, just do the math. How much do you need per month so that you only go through the list at the most 3 times, and then you refresh that list? So that's the numbers that you want to work off of. I also look up as-is deals on one-day Zillow listings. On one-day Zillow listings. I recently locked one up that I think will be a huge assignment fee, but because it's a probate deal, I won't be closing it until the first week of May. That's fantastic. Yeah, so he looks up one-day Zillow listings and looks for as-is in the description. So there's probably either a way to search that through Zillow itself, or he built some sort of bot that scrapes it. And you could build bots. I mean, it's pretty simple to build bots to scrape websites. You can go to Fiverr, you can go to Upwork, you can go to any of those resources and find a ton of people that build site scrapers to be able to do that. Smart strategy, Patrick. I hope it's a huge deal, and I hope that you tell us about it once you get it through and get it done. All right?
All I'm pulling up on that last question about the rental license is Colorado.
Really?
So, yeah.
You have to get a permit to.
Yeah, in Colorado,
rentals?
it doesn't give me much about anything else.
Okay. Awesome. It's good to know.
Yeah, it's interesting though.
Guys, if you know, make sure that you do it. You do it. If you know, make sure that you comment in here and let us know so you can educate everybody. All right? This is a team effort. David, you seem to be a stickler on follow-up. You know it. What would be a good follow-up text, or what would be a good follow-up call, like knowing there aren't any new updates, rather you're just following up? So what I love doing, David, and this is just a strategy that I always use, and you guys probably see me, if you've ever seen me in content, I take a lot of notes. I'm always writing notes. So what I would do is I would have this, Matt, can you give me the lead sheet? The lead sheet things. Yeah, perfect. So, David.
Oh, no. I'll get another one.
No. It's, yeah. All right. We have technical and physical difficulties today. It was a good throw. It's just a terrible catch. Anyway, so right here, this is the master lead sheet. Guys, you can download this at TTP Insider. .com. And David, what I would do is I'm taking notes on this every time. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to understand and build a relationship based on the 4 pillars of pre-qualifying this lead. Okay, and this thing keeps you really, really, really organized because you know how if you fill most of this sheet out, you've got a really solid lead, right? You know the condition of the property, their timeline to sell it, their motivation, and their price. Okay, so as I'm talking to them, I have this little notes section, and I'm taking notes here, and I'm taking notes, and I'm taking notes, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Am I surface level with this person, or am I able to get a little bit deeper? And if there's nothing going on, I'm just calling and texting to check in and seeing if their timeline has changed. That's the most important thing. Is your timeline changed? Because lead follow-up just basically means that you have somebody that wants to sell, but they're not ready yet. So our job is to shorten that timeline between the time that they are going to make a decision and us locking up this deal, right? So we want to shorten that up, so we're constantly, has anything changed? Just touching base. I am excited to get you a cash as is offer. You mentioned that you didn't want to sell till June. Has anything changed? I just want to make sure that I'm at the right place at the right time to give you the best offer. Remember, everything is in benefit of the lead. Okay? Benefit of the lead, benefit of the lead, benefit of the lead. What's in it for them? How are you helping them? Why are you reaching out? It's positive. It's optimistic. You can test the strategy. Some people do it. It never worked out well for me. I'd love to get your take on it, Raf. But the whole, hey, I need to buy a property this week and I want it to be your property. Are you ready to sell? I understand the psychology. I understand that it's easy to say that. In my mind, it's a lie. I need to buy something this week. Yes. Okay. What happens if you don't? Like you're just trying to add artificial timeline and you're putting it on yourself. You can try it. I'm sure plenty of people use it with success, but I like really understanding, are they ready? What's going on? Can we have a conversation? Listen, I'm just touching base. I just want to be in front of you. I am going to over-communicate with you because I want to make sure as soon as we're under contract, you know that you can reach out to me anytime, and you know that I'm going to communicate with you to get this done as smooth and as easy as possible. So I want to prove to you what a great communicator I am before we even get into the process. Is that okay? Absolutely. Sure. Get the permission. And then it makes it a lot easier for you to keep following up and reaching out and being proactive.
I'm right in line with that. I mean, I think permission goes a long way. And you can make it simple, right? I mean, is it okay if I follow up with you in, a couple of days or a week or whatnot? And then when you're following up, especially if it's via text, we like to throw in the phrase "as promised." Hey, this is Rafael following up as promised.
I love it.
I
love it.
On your house at Main Street. I hope you're doing well and your vacations went, whatever. So whatever, bring in a little bit of context from the previous conversation. That's why it's important to take notes. And then, just get permission to do it, and then let him know that as promised or as requested or something like that. But it's bring him back to that last conversation that you guys had. Find a way to just tap into that last conversation and build on that.
Love it. Question: how can I get around doing more than one wholesale deal a year in Chicago? Well, get a license. That's one way. Christian, I mean, that's the conversation we've been having. The financial benefit of getting a license is huge. But if you don't want to, get somebody that has a license on your team. If you don't want to do that, you got to close on the deals. You got to get transactional funding, or you have to have the 10 or 20% down that you need for private money or hard money lenders to fund the deal, and then either put it right back in the market or start selling it after you own it, or do a double close or double escrow. But that's really going to be the way. And if they're that serious about having a license in Illinois, they are that serious. They have been for 3 years. Just get a license. Get somebody on your team with a license. Or you're gonna take not only a financial hit every time that you close, because transactional costs are going to cost you 1 point to 2 points, plus your closing costs that you're going to have to pay for when you close that deal. So each deal, you're probably going to get hit anywhere from average $3,000 to $5,000 less every single deal that you don't have a license. Plus, you don't get advantage of the referral fees that you can get from referring deals to another agent.
We can get real here too with the whole license thing, right? If you're in a place that needs to have a license and you're trying to build this thing, look at 3 years from now. Do you still want to be spinning your wheels and then dealing with the same crap, or just going after it and really getting a license?
That's it.
Putting the 90 hours in. I mean, get real about the business, get committed to it, and do what you got to do, right? Do whatever it takes to get it done in the right way. Otherwise, 3 years from now, you're still going to be in the same bucket. Stirring up with the same deals.
I love it. That's the same mentality that I have about clutter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you walk by clutter and you're like, huh,
Yeah.
there's clutter. Yes, really. What clutter do I have? You're out of your mind.
All the drawers.
All Hunter's a psychopath, first of all. Second of all, when you think about clutter, it takes a little bit, it's just a little bit of extra attention. It's just a little bit of extra attention. So get rid of the clutter. There's going to be clutter in your mind if you're in Illinois and you don't have a license.
Yep.
There's going to be clutter. You're going to prove I have clutter?
I'm gonna post a picture.
First of all, I don't have any drawers because I don't. You have drawers.
With your
So it's
stuff.
your clutter.
It was your stuff that you want to keep.
There we go.
Your clutter.
Clutter. Get rid of it. There you go, Kristen.
Yep.
Moving on.
Nope.
It's
Oh.
we're still
Jesse, hey
it's-
Brent,
It's direct
how do
mail.
I explain to the seller that I'm a wholesaler? Well, you don't, Jesse. You're a buyer. I mean, here's the thing. You've got two options, Jesse. Reach out to somebody in your marketplace that does business and say, if I find a smoking deal, will you be my financial partner? Talk to a hard money lender and say, do you give 100% financing for really smoking hot deals? Okay, great. Now you're confident. Now you go as the buyer. So if you're the buyer, you can market as the buyer. If you're the buyer, you can communicate as the buyer. If not, if you don't want to do any of that stuff, then you are going to have to tell them that, listen, I am not your buyer here. I have a network of other people that are going to actually purchase it, but I'm going to put it under contract, and then I'm going to sell this contract to my network of buyers. It doesn't go well. It just does not go well, brother. Have the confidence. Have the financial backing. It's 2 phone calls to feel confident. For real. Like, be the buyer. An actual buyer. Don't be a liar. Be a buyer. It'll bring so much more confidence, and you're going to be able to communicate so much more effective. Or go there and just explain. Listen, what I do all day is I communicate with property owners like yourself. I match them up with the perfect cash buyer in the marketplace that's going to do a phenomenal deal, and I get paid by them to be able to do that. But to be able to do that, I have to have a purchase agreement between you and I. You can have that conversation. But either way, be honest. It's just a lot easier to have the conversation, I'm a buyer. If you're a buyer, see, this is the approach that you need to have going into every appointment. I'm going in there as a buyer first. One of my exit strategies, there's only 3 exit strategies, guys. 3. You assign that deal, which is wholesaling. You assign it to somebody else. You buy it. You literally buy it, and you sell it. Okay? That's a flip. Whatever you want to call it, wholesale, flip, whatever. It's all the same. Flip. Or you buy it and you hold on to it. Okay? But make the determination what you want to do with this property after you get it under contract. And get it under contract with confidence because you are a buyer. Listen, I understand it might sound very intimidating. It might sound very intimidating to go and talk to other investors that are successful, or talking to a lender or hard money lender or whatever else. That's a fantasy. That's a hallucination that you're having in your head. Go with confidence. Have a great tone of voice. Bring that energy, enthusiasm. You know that big goal that you have of the millions of dollars, the freedom, the control of your life? Use that energy that you feel when you're thinking about all those things in your voice as you're having conversations with people that could be your financial partners and or your lenders. It's a magnet. That's why we have Magneto, right? Become the magnet. That comes from your energy. That comes from you communicating. That's from you being proactive out there. Use all of that energy and enthusiasm and passion and fire that you have to be different, to have a incredible life. Use all of that and go talk to somebody that has money. People that have money want opportunities. So just match it up and be confident and go forward as the buyer. What do you think?
It's about being honest, man. I mean, you nailed it. You nailed it on the head. We have, for example, we'll come in, right, and we tell them we have a couple of different ways of pushing the deals or moving the deals. And we have a couple of different strategies. That's exit strategies. That's what it sounds like when we're talking to the sellers. And we tell them, and we can come in and fix and flip it. We can assign it. We can do a couple of things. However, and we always recap with this. However, whatever deal you and I put together, it's not going to change. So the way that we exit the property, we come in and buy it. Maybe one of our money partners comes in and buys it because we assigned it to them, and we're fully transparent, radically transparent when it comes to that kind of stuff. And then we just it's a big word, reiterate. How do I say it? Reiterate, right? Just nailed it. All right, so we let them know that the deal is not going to change. Deal's not going to change on their side. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, it's you can't hide the fact that you're going to be wholesaling the property. Just let them know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. There you go. Great question. And I think it's a question a lot of people ask, right? Xavier, hi, Brent. I'm having a convo right now with an agent. He asked if I have a cash buyers list. I do, but it's not huge. How should I respond to taking this conversation to the next level? Thanks. Xavier, I am the cash buyer. Send. If you're a cash buyer. If you're not, if you haven't had those conversations, if you haven't set it up, if you haven't gone through this whole process, then you say, yeah, I work with the top guys in town. Yeah, I work with the top guys in town. Really smooth process. And then ask a question. Remember, if they ask a question, you respond and you follow up with a question. That's how you control a conversation. You don't just answer a question with a question that gets annoying. Longhorn team, why do people fail at wholesaling? I'm going to write it right here. This is the number one reason why. A lack of this. It's a lack of focus. Because there's so many exciting things that we can do in this country to make money. We have to first decide, do we truly want to be a real estate entrepreneur? Is it something that is just, you know what, I have a burning desire. I know that real estate and understanding real estate and recognizing the potential in real estate is the most proven path to financial freedom. If you believe that, fantastic. Then you've narrowed down all these things, right? All these different ways that you can make money into real estate. And then you go, okay, I'm going to focus this down and understand this. And Matt, will you go to the Wholesale is the Foundation graphic? And then you understand this, that finding discounted properties is like the land that you build all your other different strategies on. All right, discounted properties, that's what wholesaling is. We find discounted properties, or we find properties that have potential equity in them. Okay? So we have discounted properties, and then you focus. You focus on finding the ugliest properties, having quality conversations with those property owners, pre-qualifying them based on the condition, timeline, motivation, price, doing aggressive lead follow-up. When I mean aggressive, I don't mean like an aggressive tone where you're angry and you're really pushing people. I mean that you're showing up all the time. They can't avoid you. They can't avoid your positivity. They can't avoid your optimism and your energy, right? And so it's a focus. Why people don't fail is this is what happens. People watch this channel. They go out. They do a deal. We've seen it 5 or 6 times today, just in the last 100 minutes. Of people making 24, 40,000, 6 million. I mean, big opportunities. And then what happens is you lose focus. You're not building your business. You're not scaling and building the machine of sourcing discounted properties. And then you start doing fix and flips. and then you start doing creative financing, and then you start doing development, or you start getting into land, or you start getting into this and that. All of those distractions before you build the foundation of consistently sourcing discounted properties. You build that part first, all the rest of them go faster and farther. But if you go, oh, I'm going to wholesale this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, all of a sudden your business is like this because your attention's like this, and you haven't built the systems, you haven't built the machine, which really means you haven't hired the right people on your team that have the expertise to take over certain roles in that business, certain roles in how that machine is built so that you can consistently find the deals, and then you don't find deals, and your lead generation crumbles. So number one is focus. Focus, focus, focus. That's why people fail at wholesaling. One is focus, and the second is the first 90 days is a fist fight. You will not get paid for 90 days. From day one. It takes about 90 days to close a deal. Now, there are deals that'll close faster, but people crumble in 90 days. If they don't get paid in 90 days, they don't see tangible results in 90 days, the mindset deteriorates, and the dreams just fall through your hands like sand. So watch that first 90 days. Really surround yourself with people that are positive, people doing this business. Really surround yourself with really good things coming in. Read good books. It's the plunger to plunge out all the crap that we deal with from social media or news or world events or whatever else is going on that is taking up space in our brain. Rightfully so, a lot of it. But you plunge out all the negativity with books and with Audible and with good podcasts and with this channel, and keep that 90 days strong and just keep pushing forward one day at a time. Just do your job one day at a time. Isaiah, I recall you saying that you've had students in SoCal who have been able to wholesale properties at near zero price. That's right. Who are those cash buyers, and how have they been able to find them? They all go through real estate agents, Isaiah. For real. The real estate agents in California, especially Southern California, run the show, bro. They do. So it's just literally you go on to Zillow or go on to Realtor.com or go on to Redfin, and you look at all the available properties that are on the market, and you look for the houses that look staged or empty, and they look pristine and they look beautiful, and you start building relationships with those agents, and you'll crush it. Start building those relationships, and that's how you sell those properties. Because all of those developers, all those fix and flippers, they're off all over the place. They're getting sweet tans. They're enjoying the cold Pacific water. It's so cold.
I don't get it.
California beaches are so cold. I'll tell you what.
Zillow has the top agents, top rated agents also. Like you'll see a section in there that will give you the names and whatnot. So if you don't have direct, you can see that. If you don't have their contact info or whatnot, just Google them up. But that's another way to tap into just the top agents in those areas. And if they don't know, if they're not doing what you're looking for, more than likely they're going to be able to route you somewhere. But you start pulling on threads like that.
That's it. Christopher, if a hard money lender does 100% lending, what's an average fee should expect from the lender? It depends. So here in town, we have a couple groups that do 100% at 18% interest, and then they'll do a modest $1,000 paperwork fee or origination fee. Most transactional funding companies are going to be anywhere from 1 to 3 points. Just depending. I mean, obviously, the more expensive a property is, the less points, because they're wiring money for just a day, or an hour or a minute or whatever else, and they're 1% of $1 million is much different than 1% of 50,000. So that usually determines how many fees or how many points that they're going to charge. But 1 to 3%, and or in the major markets that are just really appreciating like crazy, and there's a lot of competition with money, they'll just charge you an upfront, transaction or origination fee, and then anywhere from 12 to 18%. Aaron, Is the instant offer price only used on the phone when a prospect won't stop asking what our price is? What's the difference between instant offer? Yeah. Yeah, Aaron, when you are, this is a great question. What is the difference between the instant offer price and your ARV times 0.84 formula? Thanks, Brent. It is when they're pushing and you're getting a feel like, you know what, I think they're just kind of a looky-loo, like we talked about before, and we just need to take a shot across the bow, right? Then that's when, Matt, will you pull up the 66, 50, and 25%? There you go. If the property is more than $250,000, you want to be around 66% with your offer price. If it's between $249,999 and $100,000, about 50%. And if you're $100,000 or less, 25%. Okay, that's just total. Just do easy math. If you see something and it's $313,000, just 313 times 0.66 equals. Yeah, you know what? I'm looking around and looks like properties in similar condition are selling for around this price, and they are. You can look within a mile and find those ones that are similar to that selling at that price point in every market. Do you need a proof of funds in order to do a purchase agreement? Nope. I mean, it just depends on if they ask for it. Now, if you're going after properties that are either listed with an agent or an agent's bringing you these deals, or you're just starting the relationship, they will require it. Some savvy sellers, especially the people that own 10, 15, 20, 30 properties, will for sure probably ask you, not for sure, they'll probably ask you for a proof of funds. But I haven't done a proof of funds on a direct to seller in a while, in a really long time. So usually direct to seller, they're just going. But if they need it, we'll give it to them. Jose asks, I have a list of pre-foreclosures. I would like to door knock these to get faster results. What would be the best approach or script for these type of leads? Yeah, Jose, don't overthink it. I mean, I would use a very similar script to the TTP cold calling script at ttpinsider.com. But basically, you just, you just let them know, listen, I know that this is kind of random that I'm stopping by, but my name's Jose, and I'm actually interested in buying a home in the neighborhood, and I just wanted to stop by and see if you would consider an offer on your property here. And then from there, they only have 6 responses. Yes, no, maybe, how much will you give me? Who are you? Actually, only 5 if you're at the door, because the 6th response is, how'd you get my number? So they might ask you, the 6 might be something along the lines of, why'd you come here? Or did you know I was in pre-foreclosure or something like that? But really, there's only 5 responses when you're at the door. So, oh boy, Javier, my man, JVC in the house, got my 2 first flips under contract. We're going to end on this. Yep. This is how we end here. We end with a huge multi-million-dollar deal, and we start with a multi-million-dollar deal, and we end with a 70K profit. Javier, absolutely incredible. Here we go. Congratulations.
Boom.
All right, team, come on up. Team, come on up. Thank you guys for participating, for jumping on here, for asking incredible questions. Thank you for giving us your most important asset, which is your attention. We really, really, really appreciate it, and we hope that you implement all of the instruction that we go through on this channel. On behalf of Aaron and Matt and Raphael and Alejandra and Daniel, we love you guys. Thank you guys all for piecing this together with all the technical difficulties that we've had. Remember, guys, keep your house clean, right? Your physical house and this house, right? Protect your health at all times and increase your value to the world, and you will live an incredible life. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Millionaire Before 30 show. You're the best. Love you. See ya.